What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Matty B. Welcome back to the channel and thank y'all for tuning in. As always, really appreciate each and every one of you. I recorded my Nashville preview video a couple of days ago and I kind of breezed through it and I missed some stuff. We've had a little bit more news dropping that's come out in the last couple of days or so. So for today's video, we're just going to run through some quick updates before the Nashville Supercross, like some movement between the rookies at Star Yamaha, with one no longer racing and another making a pro debut this weekend. We got a little bit more of an extensive injury update on Sushi, and it does not look like we're going to be seeing him back in Supercross anymore this year. But on the flip side, we do get Drew Adams back in action. Grandpa Earl got an exemption to leave the old folks home just in time to race the rest of the Supercross series starting in Nashville. It looks like Justin Barcia is not going to return to Supercross, and he's focused on a return in Pro Motocross. The Triumph Factory Racing team has been riddled with injuries, and they got a fill-in rider, but now even he's injured. And we're going to get into all that stuff and more for some Nashville Supercross news. But before we do, got to give a huge thank you and a shout out to the channel sponsors. They're the ones who make these videos possible. They help me get to all the races and all the places that I go to bring you guys all the content that I do. So please do me a favor and go check them out. Huge thanks to ASV Inventions, home of the unbreakable lever. If you lose talent too often on the bike like myself and you crash, bend up levers all the time, then definitely check out ASV. They can solve that for you. And then huge thank you to Sirius Studio. They can take care of all your merch needs, hats, shirts, you name it, they got it. And huge thank you to the designlabco.com. They got some great designs in their lab at their co. And if you need anything graphic related, then look no further. I have links and discount codes and all that fun stuff in my video description. And if you guys buy from them, a small portion of the sale goes to me to help keep the channel going. So if you guys buy from them, you are literally supporting me. Hope you enjoy the video. Alright, to start today's video, first topic, we got some movement over at Star Yamaha in terms of the rookies. We have one getting benched and another getting a shot at his pro debut. And benched is a bit of a harsh word. Star Yamaha team manager Will Hahn has already tried getting out ahead of this thing, saying that he's not getting benched and that the plan all along was to get Caden Dundee some experience and then focus on outdoors. But let's be real for a second. I don't think his season going like this and then cutting it short was in anybody's plan. Caden Dundee is an unreal rider and an insane talent. I have a lot of belief in this kid, but for whatever reason or reasons, it just never quite came together for him in the main events in Supercross. And at the end of the day, I do kind of think this is a good idea. They did rush him into this and they just threw him into the wolves balls deep, and he showed a lot of potential but just not really any results. And now that he's getting a head start on outdoor prep, I'm thinking most of the field better watch out. This kid is very special. He could come out at the Pro Motocross opener and land on the podium, and I really wouldn't be all that surprised. This kid set the Loretta Lynn's track record as a 14-year-old B rider. I promise you all he's elite, and you will find out soon enough. But with the departure of Caden Dundee comes the pro debut for Landon Gordon, and he's been one of the standouts all year in SMX Next. I feel like he's kind of been the Caden Dundee of SMX Next because he's shown crazy speed all season. I feel like he's most of the time been the fastest guy, but it just hasn't quite come together for him in the races. But now he gets a shot at his pro debut. There's only one SMX Next race left, so you might as well just send it and get your feet wet in the pro ranks. No choice, but Landon Gordon's a pretty special talent as well. Maybe not quite as generational as Dudney, but Star Yamaha signed him for a reason, and I'm sure this is just one of the many tests that Star is going to use to decide if they're going to stick with Landon Gordon on the team for the years going forward. But yeah, Dudney's going to be doing 30+2s in Tallahassee, while Gordon's going to be doing battle in Nashville. I could probably do a whole video on just Star Racing Yamaha's plans alone because they have like 69 riders, but that's what these riders are doing. I was going to say it's in the contract, but now it really is. Next up, we got to talk about the unfortunate topic that is Joe Shimoto's injury from St. Louis. It seemed like it was really bad with the way Sushi looked down on the track. You could tell he was in a ton of pain, and initial scans said that everything looked pretty good, but then Joe went for a second look, and it was found that he has a small fracture of his left fibula, and he will now miss the rest of Supercross. And everything about this sucks. Joe was just on the injured list, and now he's right back on it. We're losing a race winner and a title contender, and this whole thing could have been avoided if Joe didn't get such a bad start in that heat race. But when you hang out with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts busted, and nobody out there is a squirrel. It's just a saying. Everybody relax, but he got a bad start. It's always sketchy back there, and that's kind of what happens sometimes. And luckily, it seems like he's going to be back for Pro Motocross, and hopefully at full health, but it's surely going to impact his prep, and that's exactly what happened to the poor dude for Supercross. He came into Supercross with almost zero preparation, and he still found himself in the conversation for the title fight. And on paper, he should definitely be one of, if not the favorites heading into outdoors, so hopefully he gets healed up soon and he can be the Joe Shimoto that we saw last year in Pro Motocross, because he was clearly the second fiddle to Hayden Deegan, and Hayden Deegan's going to the 450 class, so it could be Sushi's world and everybody else just living in it, but I think it's going to come down to how quick the dude can heal. Get well soon, Sush. And although it sucks balls that we're still losing riders this deep into the season, we are going to get a couple back for Nashville and the rest of the series in Drew Adams and Dean Wilson. Adams was dealing with a thumb injury that he sustained after crashing out of a podium fight at Daytona, and now it's buffed out, it's healed up, and he's ready to get back after it. And depending on how much time he's had on the bike since the injury, we could see Drew jump right back in and be another guy that's going to fight for the podium, especially with some of the injuries on the East Coast. Drew is super talented, and he'd already shown a lot before he went out with injuries, so I would expect to still see great things out of Drew throughout the rest of the season. And then there's the feel-good national that is Dean Wilson's return to racing. Dino escaped from the retirement home to go on a world tour. He races everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I think he might even be in Bangladesh right now, and then he's going to head to Nashville for a doubleheader. But it's going to be super rad to get Dino back in action. He's at the tail end of the career, and I feel like these might even be his last Supercross races ever. But the fans love Dino, along with about everybody else in the pits. I'm stoked for getting him back, and he's definitely not going to have any problem getting into the main events and being a top 15 guy. It's a pretty depleted field in this 450 class, and Dino's a bad dude, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he fits in. And how about Justin Barcia? Who remembers this guy? I know we haven't seen him in a while, but he revs the bike so much you can all probably still hear him wherever he is. But after a super scary, and I mean super scary deal at Anaheim 1 where Justin landed on Mookie, he's back riding, and it looks like he's just gone straight to outdoor mode instead of jumping back into Supercross. It seemed like he had started riding in plenty of time to make a return for Supercross, but it looks like he and the team have decided that it's just going to be best to be fully ready to start the Pro Motocross season. I don't know this for sure, it's definitely not confirmed, but I saw Justin riding outdoors last week at Lake Elsinore, and every video I've seen of Bam Bam riding has been on outdoors. Haven't seen a lick of Supercross in the contract, and with only 5 rounds remaining, it just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me to see them make this huge last-second push for the last few rounds of Supercross after banging out outdoor motos and testing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't really think I am. But Barcia's getting back into it. He was doing a lot of testing with the Factory Connection squad, and I'm excited to see what Bam Bam and the Ducati look like in Pro Motocross. If you want a sneak peek, go check out my Lake Elsinore video from last week. We got a lot of Barcia footage in there. You guys know I had no choice. And then our last topic for today's video is the Triumph team that has been beyond riddled by injuries this year. It's not been good for them, and they had taken a step to get a bike back on track and hiring Gage Linville as a fill-in rider, but now, believe it or not, even the fill-in rider's injured. Such a massive bummer for not only Triumph, but especially Gage Linville. This dude was the 50cc prodigy of all prodigies back in the day. He had some issues where he couldn't ride or race for several years, and ever since then, he's been grinding on the comeback trail. And after all the years as a privateer and all the work he's put in, he finally got an unreal chance at a factory ride, and just like that, now he's hurt too. And man, I hate this so much. I was really looking forward to seeing how Gage would do on the Triumph. He's been riding great the last several years, and this year in Arena Cross, it seemed like he took another big step up with his riding. But yeah, really sucks for Gage and the Triumph team. They're having a hell of a time this year. I even saw a video from this past week where another one of their riders, Jordan Smith, had a massive, hellacious crash at MTF. I can't even describe to you guys how bad it looked, but it looked like it might have even been due to a bike failure, which that was always my biggest fear in Supercross. But either way, it's been far from ideal for the Triumph squad, and hopefully it turns around for him ASAP as possible. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Nashville is also a day race. I've heard a lot of complaints about some false reasons why it's a day race, but it's just so they can get on NBC. Kind of a no-choice situation for TV, but for today's video, that's all I got for you guys. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, and as always, please let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, if you liked it, if you disliked it, if I'm fake news, if I'm a cooked unit, or anything in between. You guys know you can throw anything my way, but yeah, like I said, thanks again. Means a lot to me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, free of all and any choice.